Welcome back to the Baldeagle242 YouTube channel. Today I've got a 40-year-old pulse jet carburetor on a Briggs & Stratton 3-horsepower engine. This is on a Montgomery Ward air compressor. I did do another video on this air compressor. I'll put a link up above here so you can check that out. If you haven't watched that, you may want to look at that one first. But anyway, I'm going to get into this thing, clean this carburetor up, get this tank cleaned out, get this thing back on here, and hopefully this thing will run. Get this tank off of here. Might be interesting to see what we find in this thing as long as it's been sitting. A lot of times these carburetors don't get as gummed up as like a traditional carburetor does with a bowl on the bottom of it, because most of the gas stays in the tank on these. Not as bad as I anticipated. I don't know how well this will show up on camera, but basically the tank on these things works as the bowl of the carburetor. You can see that ledge down there, probably, about that deep. And that works as your bowl. And because of that, you don't get a lot of buildup and stuff in there like you do on a traditional carburetor. See how far that is turned in. There's one turn, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3 turns. So pull that out and see what's under the bottom of that. Oh, it doesn't look that bad. I'll still blow it out real good. I do have a rebuild kit for this thing if I need it too. I'll put a description down below here with some part numbers and stuff. Right there is your weak part of these carburetors. Those little flappers right there. If those get brittle or break, you don't get any fuel pumping in and out of this thing. And that should be it. So I will replace this when I put this back together. That actually probably would have worked still. It's not cracking when you bend it, but it is pretty stiff. When you take these apart, you've got a ring. The cup side of that goes down on top of the spring. And then you've got a very weak little spring here to help push that diaphragm back up. Definitely not clean, but it's cleaner than I expected it to be. That's a 1/2-inch wrench to take this out here. This little gasket right here will go bad sometimes too, start leaking. And then you've got your jet down in here. This can be tight sometimes too, and stay tight on that so you don't, that one's actually really loose. I think this thing probably would have ran with this carburetor without even cleaning it. Clean all that out real good. Things up, I just like to take some really fine Scotch-Brite, and it works real good for cleaning up these aluminum surfaces. This just ensures you get a good tight seal between your mating surfaces. Once you get that all polished up, I'll take some carburetor cleaner and just spray it out again. This is a handy little set here too. This is the original jet out of that carburetor. I kind of polished the outside of it up here with that same Scotch-Brite, but the kit that I've got here is actually for a 5-horsepower motor, so I'm not sure if the jet is the same size or not. I'm going to clean this one up and put the original jet back in it because I don't see anything wrong with it. Guys, that's nothing more than a bread tie, and that will work for a lot of your, strip the plastic off your bread tie, and that will work for cleaning up a lot of these jets and these carburetors. That ought to do it. Once you get this thing cleaned up, blown out with compressed air or carburetor cleaner, put your spring back down in here. Take this little ring, cup side goes down on the spring. Make sure that gets down on there real well. Take your new diaphragm. Make sure it's down over that little alignment pin there. And then take this, make sure this is good and clean. These little ports down in here, you can see those holes down in there. All this needs to be really clean. And snug all these screws down. I like to get them all down flush and then just go back and what I call 2 or 3 fingers tight, about like that. No need to over tighten these. And that's all you need to get that part back together. Next thing you want to do is take your jet after you clean it up, drop it down in there. And again, you just want this tight enough so that it doesn't vibrate loose, not overly tight. Tighten this down enough so it doesn't vibrate out. And remember when we took this out, it was 3 turns out, so we're going to screw it all the way in, and then we're going to come back out 3 turns. 1/2, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and that should get us back to where we started at. New gasket to fit down on top of that tank so we can make sure that seals really well too. On this tank, what I'll do is literally just take 1/4 nuts, drop a bunch of them down in this tank, Try not to drop too many of them on the floor. But all these are, I mean, there's a few washers, lock washers, anything metal, just drop that down in there. And then I'll spray carburetor cleaner down in here. And I have already sprayed the inside of this tank out. But just get all down in here. And I'm just going to slosh this around until we get as much of this rust and dirt and grime out of here as we can. Alright, and then once you slosh that around for a while, just take your lid off and just dump everything out of there. Beautiful stuff. That's a lot of rust out of the bottom of that tank. And I'm not going to do this on camera, but you can do this 3 or 4 times until you get as much of that rust out of there as possible. I'll tell you something else too, guys. Chris X Outdoors has a good video on how to clean these. It's a short video, shows you how to clean these tanks out really good. So, I did clean the top of that tank off, got all that out of there. Try to show you here as best I can how the inside of this tank looks now. This area right here is key. Well, how well that'll show up for you guys, but compared to what it started as, that's a heck of an improvement. Here, this is what I got out of that tank. That's all rust that was in the bottom of that tank. All right, I got the top cleaned off here too. We'll go ahead and put the gasket on here. Get this down through here. Yeah, I kind of angle this to get it down in that hole. All right, and on this screw here, don't forget you got this little tube that goes on here. And then the little bracket to hold it in place. That should get us going there. Pump back on there, bracket on there. Got our needle set up correctly. We should be good to go. All right, I did clean this muffler up and paint it also. And if you have an offset muffler like this that goes out to the side, make sure you put this on before you put your carburetor on, or you won't be able to turn it to get it in there. The carburetor is going to be in the way. All right, when you put your carburetor on here, put this linkage rod into your carburetor first. This way you can tilt this up, get that little Z-bend into your governor or air deflector or whatever you want to call this thing, and then you can put the bolts in your carburetor. Also, make sure you get this tube lined up down in here. See that? See what this thing does here. I don't think that's too bad of an ending for a 40-year-old air compressor that's been sitting in storage for the last 10 years. Had zero compression when I got it. In fact, there's another video that I did on this air compressor that you might want to check out if you want to know a little bit more of the backstory on this thing. I think that's a good success. And guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. As always, take care until next time. All right, I did clean this muffler up too. And you're going to tell me I can't get that on there with a carburetor on. That's wonderful.